But it's a Rover. Yeah, but it's a GTI. This is my Rover. And it's a 25 GTI. So not just a normal 25. This is the fast one. It's only got half an engine in it. And the rest of it's currently sat in the boot. It's not really going to go anywhere anytime soon. How the fuck did this happen? Now, if you've been following along, which I know you guys have, so big thumbs up for that. A lot of things have sort of gone wrong, and it's all ended up to this, with essentially the engine in bits. Not in the front, all in the back. I wouldn't exactly call it a Porsche. It's definitely not a Porsche. But hey, let's find out what happened. Quick little recap. As you know from the previous video, I had a little bit of a leak and I was getting coolant loss as well as intermittent power loss. And after investigation, it turns out that I had some burnt valve stem seals that needed to be replaced. It also turned out that once the head had been taken off and we were looking to get the head gasket sorted, the reason why I was getting that coolant loss is the cylinder liners, which are wet liners, were ever so slightly corroded as well as sunken a little bit. So under load, the car itself was leaking coolant into the combustion chamber, which is what led me to get the white sort of smoky discharge that was coming out of the back, which was much more prevalent in colder weather than what it was during warmer sunny days where you didn't really see it. However, it also explained why, like I say, I was getting that power loss. When they were checking across the cylinder itself, PSI come back as 225, 225, 110, because this is the one with the burnt valve stem seal guides. Burnt valves, basically, that needed to be replaced. Cylinder 4, on the other hand, it turned out that this also had a slightly bent con rod. So because of that, it come back with, I think it was 210 PSI. I can't remember. I'm pulling these numbers from the depths of my mind. And so because of this, besides having the sleeves replaced, I also needed to have the con rods replaced, which basically meant just new pistons going in there. So new pistons, new valve stem seals, new cylinder liner. It's going to be a new head that I've got built into it as well. And yeah, put it all back together. New water pump, new belt, new auxiliary belts. Yeah, a lot of work's being done. Obviously an oil change as well. And today, the day before we go in for the pre-operation, because my partner is incredibly heavily pregnant, it's going to get sorted. So that means the car's going to be back on the road before the baby's born. Because those of you who have had partners that have had cesareans or had cesareans yourself, you're usually going for a pre-op assessment and a couple of days later the baby comes out. So today is a Tuesday, tomorrow's a Wednesday, pre-op assessment, take the dog to get his paws hair cut, weird thing to do. Chaps come around to put the engine back together again, and by the afternoon, I hopefully, or evening, should be able to drive it around, which means Thursday I can put a few miles on it, gentle miles on it. Friday, baby turns up. Saturday, maybe do a couple more miles, obviously for only essential trips because I need to be at home to help the missus out with the new baby and the 2 existing children. Yeah, because, you know, big family, fun times. Maybe get a few snapshots of them together and yeah, crank a few miles throughout the week. And then after that, I'll need to drop the oil in the filter once 300 miles or so has been done of gentle driving, put new oil and filter in, and I should then have a car that's going to drive, go, and I'll have a lot of fun in. So yeah, I can't wait for tomorrow. Am I as excited for the child as I am for the car on the road? Well, that's, I'll let you decide that. I mean, I love me kids, but I love being out and about as well. Wait, the missus watches these videos. It's the kids. I promise you, it's the girls and whatever this third one's going to be, whether it's a boy or a girl. I'll tell you what, yeah, we'll do a gender reveal at the end of the video, because once the car's all put back together and I've done a good couple of miles on it, I'll do a follow-up. So like and subscribe, and if we hit 10 likes on the video, besides doing a gender reveal at the end of this one, I'll do a name reveal. Oh, how exciting is that? This is not top quality viewing, but it doesn't fucking matter because hey, because I can do whatever the fuck I want, really, can't I? Anyway, see you guys tomorrow. Just started it up and about to get the system fully bled, so head's all back on, sounding all right. We'll see how well it goes. Catch you guys in a bit. You know, despite the fact that it's spent the last 3 weeks sat here doing nothing, it doesn't smell bad or anything like that. So I suppose it's a testament to, one, this car being watertight, and two, it's been really sunny. So that's good. As another point, which I do want to ask, whether people think it's a good idea or not, I actually quite like these seats. I do want to turn them into heated seats. Look out for that video. Woo, Scandi spec, ready for winter time. Anyway, the other option is, I was thinking to myself, maybe I should get these seats swapped out for something else. I do quite like the idea of potentially using some E39 or E36, like BMW seats, coupe ones, so that they can swing forwards and the rear seats can be used. I just didn't know whether, you know, they'd be a bit more supportive. There's multi-way function on. These seats actually have lumbar support in them, which I think is awesome. But it would be quite interesting to know whether I should swap them out. Let me know. Tell me in the comments. Should I keep it pure, or should I taint it with a little bit of BMW seats inside it? I mean, at the end of the day, when this car was knocking about, yeah, it was developed before the BMW takeover, but I suppose it was sort of utilized during the BMW era, so it kind of blends. You be the judge. Give me a comment. If you say no, keep them original, I suppose that's a good thing, because it's cheaper for me in that circumstance then, isn't it? I don't have to worry about going out and trying to find some 3-door BMW seats, which are oddly expensive. I quite like the tobacco colour. Sorry, it's called like cinnamon now, but back then it used to be tobacco. Cool colour. Let me know. Right, you join me now that the engine has all been put back together. The bits aren't in the boot anymore. They're literally where they should be, underneath the bonnet. I'm going to turn the car on. You'll hear it as I drive, and I'm going to take a little cruise down to Sainsbury's, because I need to put a little bit of unleaded petrol in, because I've decided to go to Sainsbury's instead of Tesco's, because it's ever so slightly closer, and make sure that the tyres are all inflated nicely, because it has been sat here for around about 3 weeks. So I'm going to take a nice gentle little drive. Going to keep the RPMs below 3,000. Can't go too crazy with it, because essentially what I've got to do is, once I've driven it around about 300 miles, as I've said before, drop the oil, change the fuel filter, and change the spark plugs. Make sure I put those platinum ones in there, because apparently they're really quite good for it. So let's give the engine, let's turn it on, and there we go. We can turn the stereo down. It's unbelievably quiet, and you know what as well, the car is not rocking and rolling around, so I'm just trying to turn the stereo down. There we go. Because before, I used to get an insane vibration, not insane, but quite an intense vibration through the steering wheel, and now I don't. So happy days. So yeah, I'm going to take a little drive down to Sainsbury's, if I can get into gear, because it's a bit stiff. There we go, first drive in 3 weeks, and with all the work done. Do you know what? It feels really good to be back behind the wheel of the car, because I've missed it. I've missed it loads. It's been a while. There we go. It's also been a while since I've driven a manual, which is always exciting, because of course, as we know, the Passat is automatic. Yeah, you can tell. I think this needs a little bit of air in the tyres. Do you know what? Even though I haven't driven a manual in a while, and the clutches are heavier in these than like quite a few cars, I'll tell you what, sitting back in it, it's literally like driving something that you've driven 100 times before. It's like driving an old friend, which is a little bit of a weird thing to say, because you wouldn't drive an old friend. You might ride an old friend though. Anyway, yeah, on first go around, it feels really nice, really well controlled. Engine feels smooth, power's delivered nicely. Like I say, I'm sitting in, well, I'm in 4th gear at the moment. I'm sitting just above 1,000 RPM. Let's get onto this road. No cars around. It's going to be some nice slow acceleration, just because, like I say, don't want to be getting into the VVC mechs. There we go. And I think what I'm going to do is cruise at a leisurely 50 miles an hour down this road, and then the next road I got to drive down is only like a 40, so keep it nice and slow. Drive over to Sainsbury's, put a little bit of fuel in it, fill those tyres up with air, and I suppose I'll speak to you guys in a little bit. And now you join me back here on the 29th of July, which if you remember from one of the previous clips was, how many days ago is this? 6 days ago? Because that's right, not only is the engine back in the car, but I have another child inside the house. And as I said before, give me a couple likes and you can have a gender reveal, a name reveal. I'm sure you're well excited to know about that, but I've got 3 kids in that room just over there now. But still, back to the car. Let's open this up. And here it is. It's in the vehicle. Let's have a closer look. So as you saw in the previous clip with me having the bonnet up in the air, none of this existed. So we've got all of it put back on together. The full rundown, which I'm sure I've probably mentioned 5 or 6 times, was new piston, because cylinder 4 had lower compression, cylinder 3 had no compression. The reason why cylinder 4 had not really, but some low compression was because the com rod was ever so slightly bent out of shape. I've actually got that in the boot, so we might have a look at that one. As for cylinder 3, we had gaps where the valves were sitting on cylinder 3, so because of that we weren't getting good compression. When it came down to the coolant loss, no, it technically wasn't a head gasket problem. It was the cylinder liners. So they sat ever so slightly too unproud, because proud is when it's above, like under proud, low proud, under, I don't know. They were too low down, which basically meant that as the engine was getting warm, it was pulling in small amounts of coolant and then literally burning off really easily. That would explain why wintertime I was able to see a little bit of white smoke, but it looked no more than condensation, but it never really went away. Whereas summertime now, you just didn't see it at all. So they had to get sorted out. New head gasket, everything's all been put back together, new head, new gaskets galore over it. In fact, this head came off of a vehicle that only had 50,000 miles on it, as opposed to mine, which had 96,000 miles on it. So slightly better. Mech's okay. Yeah, bled through. I've driven it around about 100 miles now, and it's all right. So I suppose the best thing to do is we better start it up and see how it sounds. All right, guys, so let's get the car started up. Let's put myself on. What am I here? Oh, better make sure I turn off the radio. And let's go. Right, car's going. What you will find is, there it is. So as it stands at the moment, I've only had this set up now for, well, like I said, I've driven 100 miles. It's been set up for, what, a couple days? What I found is when it first starts up at the moment, I've been informed that this is a normal thing, it's a tiny bit rattly while the new valves sit into the new head, which is the case, but then as it goes on and it warms up, because this hasn't been on, I've started this from stone cold, as it warms up, that all goes away and it becomes incredibly smooth and rather quite quiet. You can't hear that misfire anymore because there is no misfire anymore, which, happy bloody days. That's exactly what we wanted. Was it worth it to get it back out on the road? Hell yeah. Unfortunately at the moment, I can't get it into the VVC because essentially I need to drive it around about 300 miles. Once I've driven it about 300 miles, then it's going to be a case of dropping the oil, changing the filter, need to change the spark plugs on there. And we all know how to change spark plugs because it was such a pain in the arse me doing it last time. But this time I've got 4 platinum ones, NBK, they're from discount MG Rovers spares. They're on offer at the moment as of recording, 23 quid for the 4 instead of like £50. I didn't think spark plugs ever did cost 50 quid, but hey, cheap. So I need to get 4 of them in there. You can already hear it's quieting down as it's getting warmer. Got me oil filter, got me oil, need to do that in 200 miles again. Yeah, it's already quieting down now. In fact, what revs are we sitting at? Yeah, revs are coming down. And yeah, it's sounding good. I'll tell you what we should do. Let's have a listen to the exhaust note, because as you remember on a couple of the other ones, it was like put, 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 popping away like a chitty chitty bang bang. But you can already hear it's rather nice and calm. So let's check that bit out as well. That's right, it's not like a budget version of the full Monty where I'm trying to gas myself out from the back of this exhaust, but you should be able to hear from the microphone that I've got here. There's no more pop, pop, popping. It's just a lovely 4-cylinder burbly sound, half a V8. So that'll just be an L4, inline 4, I4. Anyway, that's not the point. But we're still sitting on around about 1,000 revs at the moment, because we haven't quite cooled down, got to temperature where it sits at around about 800. Yeah, this is what it sounds like at the moment. Give me 2 seconds and we'll hear what it sounds like once it's warmed up. Right, and this is the sound of the exhaust with it up to temperature, which, as you may be able to hear, same again, no pops, no bangs, sounds absolutely wonderful. So we have figured out the problem as to why we were getting that misfire. Basically, the engine was held together with sawdust and it was a piece of shit. And now it's no longer a piece of shit. It's fucking awesome. I'm sure you can also hear now, the engine itself has calmed down and quietened up loads. It's absolutely fantastic. It's basically, it's never ran this well before. So I'm super pleased with the work that's been done to it. I am well happy, and it 100% was outside of my comfort zone, and as well as outside of my skills remit. So I'm really glad that we were able to get someone in to come and get it sorted, which I suppose leads me on to a couple things. One, what's the drive like now? Really good, and we'll have a look in a minute. Number two, it's really warm out. Is your air conditioning working? No, it's still not fucking working. So I need to get my AC sorted out. It's not the relays, which I was hoping it would be. I bought some bulbs to sort out the switch, because the light on the switch don't come out, so let's just make sure it's not a bulb or a switch, or whereas the switch has continuity, so I don't know if it's a switch. And yeah, maybe it's the pressure sensor, but then at the same time apparently it's the right amount of coolant in it. So yeah, that's still got to get sorted. Even though I swapped my tyres over, as you would have seen, one of them keeps going down ever so slowly, so either wasn't installed correctly or I've got a really slow puncher, so I need to get that puncture looked at, potential puncture. And then we just need to make the car look less pre-owned. I want it to look a bit more like, yeah, that looks really good. Which will also involve me getting the engine bay cleaned, as well as cleaning the car as well. But for now, let's close this up and we'll go for a little drive and see how it feels on the road. Once again though, at low RPMs, because, yeah, got to keep it gentle for the time being. Let's do it. Daddy noise. Cool, okay, so there's me. I got my now middle child in the car with me, Cushy, who helped me fix my brake lights before. Engine's on, car's ready to go. We're going to take a little trip down to Sainsbury's, not Tesco's this time. Maybe I will go to, no, I'm going to Sainsbury's because I want to check my tyre pressure on the offside front. Yeah, let's do that. I'm also going to straighten this camera up because it's going to wind me up if I don't do it. Look, you can see my fingers. Oh, there we go. Right, that's that bit sorted. Looks like that made absolutely no difference whatsoever. But let's go for a little drive. So, yeah, let's do it. Are you happy to be out in the car, Cush? Yeah? She's nodding. You can't see her. She is nodding. Cool, so the car itself, incredibly smooth while driving. I'm loving every second of it. The few miles, to quite a few miles that I've actually driven in it already. I've got another about 200 miles to do. Well, actually, specifically, I've driven 70. I thought I'd driven 100 miles already. I haven't. I've driven 70 miles already. Basically, I've got to drive another 230 miles at least, or around about that, before I get the oil and filter and the sparks changed out of it, because then that way we can guarantee that clearing all of the oil out has got rid of all the shit that was inside the car itself. Forgive my language, babe. You enjoying playing with that little toy? Yeah. You'll see here as well. Like I say, I've got to keep the speed quite low. Not the speed low, but the RPMs low. I'm just sitting at around about 1500 at the moment, doing just a mere 20 mile an hour. Plenty of time for this individual to pull their car out. So yeah, I've got to do this for a little while, nurse the car around, and then once I've done the oil and filter change, the spark change, and obviously the engine's up to temperature, then I should be able to play with it to my heart's content and see what it's like hitting that VVC, which I'd hope would give a much better 0 to 60 time than that lovely 11-12 seconds that I had been getting prior to this being done. In fact, as an interesting point, I guess all my MPG stuff that I did, because this was when the car was not working properly, is absolutely worthless, because it would be based on the fact that it had lack of compression in the cylinder head, which meant that I'd be getting worse miles per gallons than what I should do, provided it was correct. So, well, that sucks, doesn't it? Just means I have to go do it again. Trip to the seaside. Should we go to the seaside, get fish and chips again, Kush? Yeah? You gotta say it nice and loud. Can you say yes, nice and loud? Go, yes! No, we're not gonna do it. Camera shy despite not being on the camera, which is fine, because she doesn't have to be. But yeah, driving at around about 50 now, just down these little country roads. Nice to do, car feels good. It feels lighter on its feet than what it normally did, because sometimes it will feel quite sluggish to drive. Whereas now, it feels quite light, refreshing to drive it. What's that? There's horses over there, they're cows. Close, kind of like horses. I mean, if you ask Tesco's, they think horses are cows. So yeah, if anybody remembers that from, pardon? No, yeah, no. Horses go, yeah, I know. Right. Animals. Do you like animals? That's good. So there's some top tips for you as well. Car works really nicely, and my daughter likes animals, specifically horses. So if anybody out there wants to donate me a horse, I want to say donate me a horse, I mean pay for it, look after it and care for it, because that stuff's expensive. So yeah. Oh, here we go. Horses, yeah. Cruising at 40 miles an hour, absolutely wonderful. Yeah, at the moment, I mean, I can't hit the high speeds. I mean, I can drive on a dual carriageway. When I mean high speeds, I can't hit the hard accelerations and I can't hit the high RPMs. But yeah, the car's bloody brilliant. I'm well happy with how it's all been put together. I'm really excited that it's worked, and I'm just looking forward to enjoying it more. Yeah, white man, isn't it? Just got a little air freshener. Yeah. Oh, the lights. Yeah, from the radio. But yeah, so what am I doing? Hopefully over the summer holidays, which got the new baby, so I will be at home a lot of the time supporting the partner with it. But yeah, hopefully me and the girls might spend a couple nights away, might go camping local in the area, take the Rover out for a little adventure. It'll be good. Drive down to the coast. Have to check my MPGs out again as well now, which actually doesn't make me feel so bad about being lazy about not doing that one at the dual carriageway at 60 miles an hour on standard and premium fuel, as well as driving up the dual carriageway on standard fuel. I feel okay about it. Then again, I like the maths. So yeah, in fact, it will be interesting to know how poor fuel economy, or how fuel economy would have been impacted by the engine performance being down. So yeah, so there is a positive to it. Anyway, thank you very much for coming along for the ride. Thank you very much for staying with me and watching this entire engine get rebuilt. Thank you very much to the guys at the company that I used to fix said engine and get it all sorted. Your knee hurts. That's okay, we'll put plaster on it. And yeah, I'd like to ask if you could like, subscribe, comment, leave some information down. And you did it. Oh, you put plaster on yourself, have you? Oh, good job. So yeah, and I will see you guys in the next one. Probably on my own, you never know. I might take the girls with me, might have to go out somewhere. That'll be quite exciting. But yeah, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ra.